Good evening, everybody. My name's Paul, and today we'll be playing the last session of a three-shot of Eclipse Phase using the decay system that's in early beta. We'll be playing with the Open Hearth within the Open Hearth code of conduct and use a layered set of safety tools. These are cats, lines and veils, which we went over in the first and second session, the X card, and of course the open door policy. At the end of the session, we'll have roses and thorns as a debrief at the end of this run. I've had some good feedback so far, so hopefully some stage in the future we will either play EP again or we'll use this system to do something else. Let me hand it over then for people to introduce themselves and their characters quickly. Going to the first person, that is Horst. Say hello, Horst.
Hello, Horst. I'm Horst, he, him, and I'm playing Hex, they, them, and Hex is an anarchist.
Indeed he is, and we've definitely seen the anarchist side of him, or at least the non-corporate side of him. Moving along, next is Lowell, who's playing Fisher.
My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. I'm playing Fisher. Fisher is a capitalist. That's all we need to know about him.
And last but not least is my good friend Will, if he could introduce himself and his character.
I'm playing, well, my name is Will, my pronouns are he, him, as are those of my character Rook, and he's a soldier, he doesn't do politics.
Excellent. The last two sessions we did have a good friend of ours, Puckett, but he is open doored from today's session, so hopefully we'll see him again in some future versions of this, and he is sorely missed. We all love Puckett. Very well. Using the crafty AI recap tools that Zoom nicely has, a quick overview of what has happened. So in the last session, the characters finally left the Titan quarantine zone and headed towards Noctis, a city of about 13 million people that was an overnight trip in their land vehicle. They arrived at Noctis to find it on a sort of semi-lockdown due to the Titan activity, or the leftover Titan activity in the zone, and through cunning skill and some diplomacy and trading, they got themselves into the city, only to discover at that stage when they got into the city that they were not the true versions of themselves, which they thought may have happened because they were all suffering a bit of memory loss, and basically they're beta versions of themselves, which in Noctis means they've only got a legal lifespan of 72 hours. So the clock is against them at this stage. They know a person in Noctis who could provide some insight, and that is another version of Dr. Morbius. They tracked down his residence, got there, quite a nice palatial residence, only to find when they got to the door, his manservant has been knocked unconscious, and well, manservant is maybe not true actually. His companion has been knocked unconscious, and the house is undergoing a chaos software attack. It's freaking out the house's AI, which is slowly closing down. And we left it with the characters on the threshold to the property with habeas corpus on the carpet in front of him, down and out on the ground. Habeas corpus is Mobius's assistant, manservant, whatever you want to call it, and he's a neo pig, basically. And he's sparked out in front of the characters. Without further ado, let's jump in and see what happens. So I think you were quite near the doorway really when this all went down, Fisher. In front of you is this this neo-pig, quite smartly dressed. I don't want to say in a pool of blood, because he's not, but he's clearly suffered a wound. And yeah, he's down and out in front of you. The lights are flickering. Yeah, something's clearly going on within the house, in the house software.
So, have no weapon, if my recollection is correct. So I am grabbing Corpus, and my goal here is to move him and myself to a cover position and see what I can ascertain, like if I can guess numbers, positions, that kind of thing. So I want to kind of do is like get to cover.
Yeah, I
and
totally get what you're saying. Let's see if I can actually get a picture of habeas corpus. I can definitely share the NPC tab.
Yeah.
Let me see if my skills are that good. Sure.
I don't see him in the NPC tab right now. There he is. Took a second.
Let's press the share button, see if I can achieve it. Oh, finally getting there. Share. There we go. Habeas corpus is next to Dr. Morbius, who they met in the first episode before he went down. And yeah, he does indeed look like a pig with reasonably standard hands and reasonably standard feet. He can definitely manipulate things, but probably not with the dexterity that a normal human could. So I think this is a perceive check, really.
Okay. Right now, I've got EP. My perceive is at 6. Got my dice.
We're back on. Well, we'll roll for your partying tonight.
Okay. Let me grab the link.
The remarkably summary chicken, I think, is where we are at today.
Okay. So 6d10. Submit. So I've got a 9.
That's pretty good. Not the best it can be, but pretty good. So I think this comes under complete a task. Success. Reduce your skill pool by 1. I'm going to tell you, you can definitely hear some movement upstairs, but you can't pin down sort of quantities. There's definitely something happening upstairs. You can't hear anything downstairs, and you can't see anything from your position.
Okay. Then over our network, since we have comms between the three of us, I will say we've got movement on the second floor. First floor seems to be clear. I've got the companion pig with me. It's some pig, and I'm set. So get to killing.
And I think at this stage, Hex, Rook, you were out front as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were as well, Hex. So, let's have you two on the scene. You get to the doorway. Now, you do know in the last session that just before all this sort of AGI jangliness went on, that's a technical term for anybody watching, jangliness. Somebody did go up to the household, but didn't break in. They were letting willingly by habeas corpus.
Right.
So you know that. Yeah, so you've got this pool of blood in front of you, and clearly Fisher's told you what he thinks. Hex, what would you like to do?
Hex is probably trying to run past Fisher, and if the ground floor is clear, he will run up the stairs.
Okay, that sounds good. You start to make a bolt up the stairs. Rook, what do you want to do? Hex has gone up the stairs. Fisher's to your left by an occasional table. Who doesn't like an occasional table in the hallway?
Are there any other routes upstairs? Like a second stairway or anything like that?
Not from the hallway. It's not that grand that it's got a double staircase.
I mean, you never know in Eclipse Phase, right?
You never
Right.
know. No. Yeah, there could be a high-speed lift or something.
Yeah.
No, alas, this is a bit of old-fashioned, stairway.
Is the ground floor definitely secure?
That was Fisher said.
That's what Fisher said. Yeah, you know what? I sweep in. I take one look down at the pig. I am also the only one with paramedic, I believe.
Do you want to hand anything over to Fisher and maybe stay here, or do you want to leave him with Habeas and?
How bad does Habeas look at a glance?
He's out.
He's out.
You could, with some paramedic skills, rouse him, probably.
Yeah. There's time for that later. I swear. I look at Fisher and I say, "Am I the only fucking person with a gun?" And I sprint up the stairs after Hex.
For our viewers, I will remind our viewers that Hex is not Hex. Rook has actually got 3 weapons on him. 2 of them are implanted in him, but he is turning into a bit of a weapons hoard here.
I mean, you're a walking weapon pod when you're in a security pod, you know?
Well, exactly. You do get 2 anyway, and
yeah.
You're not a security man without a gun, are you?
No,
so fair enough.
Nobody gets in sleeves into a security pod and then just goes like, "Oh, I don't need a gun. I've got these." You know, like we're not Wolverine, right? Yeah.
Always gonna have one. Okay, you sprint up the stairs. You top the stairs, a corridor. Let's hone this down. So, Hex, do you want to make a perceive check, just to narrow down sort of what Fisher thought he heard upstairs?
So my new perceive, after I chopped a couple of points off, is now 4, which makes it maybe more interesting. 4 D10. Submit. Ooh, it's still got a 9.
God, killing me. Remove one for the one from the skill pool. Yes, you can definitely hear. I think you can hear. Sounds like a window breaking further down the corridor. And let's give this to Rook for free. Yeah. So yeah, Hex spends a little bit of time. He can definitely. Do you want to say anything to Rook? Hex,
yeah, I'm saying there's a window breaking. Maybe somebody's trying to escape.
I sprint down the corridor towards the window with my hand laser.
The window's not in the corridor. Sorry, that's my mistake for not explaining it. He can definitely hear a window smashing. It's down the corridor. There's some rooms coming off the corridor. The doors, they're doored.
We don't know which door potentially it's behind, right? So
that was a reasonably good roll by Hex, so he can definitely point you in the direction of the central door.
I blast that door open. I fire it with a laser, and at the lock, melt it through and kick it open.
Yeah,
just in case it's locked. I don't want to waste time.
It's open. You concentrate your hand laser on the door, after a period of time, it does sort of, the lock mechanism will melt away. I won't have the beam go through the door and slice somebody in half that was on the other side. That would be just way too cruel. And the door suddenly comes open. So it's taking you let's say a minute to burn the door down. Inside, I think I may be able to give you a picture. Sort of, yeah. Not, yeah. Why not? Let's go with this one. So, just leaving out the window is a kind of hard-looking synth, and I think I've got a picture of. The room's in quite a disarray. There's 2 bodies on the floor. One of them is a synth, that's taken some sort of head trauma, and the other one is a skinned body.
What kind
And
of
next
body?
to it is a pile of skin.
Skin body. Okay.
Skin body. Okay.
Body, yeah. I won't. So I think that's a bit of a. You've seen dead bodies, but a skinned body, that's
Skinned.
pretty
I
sort
mean,
of.
it takes me right back to the fall and the things that the Titan bots were doing,
Yeah.
all kinds of
So
weird shit.
that's at least it's taking you back. So you may have seen this before, as you said you have. So let's just call this a straight then sanity check, because you've expressed that you have seen this before, and I'm more than happy with that.
I figure if you've seen the fall, you've seen all of the most fucked up stuff that happened to people and the Titans, right? I am in the wrong dice stream. I'm on roll with me. That's not working.
You can be with roll with me. Nothing seems to happen, but we will discuss that off camera.
Yes, yeah. So a sanity check, right? Which is I think I have 5 insanity here because I reduced it. So I will delete all these. Put 5d10 in. Oop. Well, I'll remove the last of the blue ones.
Are you sure they were D10s you rolled?
I
They
thought
don't
it
look
was.
like 10s.
They don't look like 10s, do they? Hang on. Oh, I misplaced the D. Yeah, there we go. I put it in the D12 by mistake. Oh, come on, roll with.
Remove them all.
It likes to keep one behind, just a little
Just to
treat.
tempt you.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of leave none behind.
Yeah. 7.
Now we're in some other category, aren't we? This is not good. Failure. The abyss looks back at you. Add a tick to your stress track. If it's full gain of disorder, which it is not at this stage.
I imagine that would be violence.
Yeah. This is clearly an example of extreme violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your sanity is not reached 0, so that's fine. Also,
pick off my sanity as well.
Take 1 from your sanity.
Yeah.
Pick any acute stress from the following list. So either fight, flight, or detachment. You can never repick it again until all 3 have been picked.
Okay. It's fight, obviously.
Fight. Fair enough. Who doesn't like a bit of fight? Always a good one to pick at this stage.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
in the future.
I see the combat synth. Like this is a gnarly looking synth that's a half out of a window.
Half out of a window, yeah.
Yeah, and I think.
So how does this enrage you, Matt?
Well, it reminds me again, like I say, of the fall of the atrocities committed there, and
there were a lot of robots or synths controlled by the Titans, so I can see how this sets you off.
Yeah, and rather than shoot the synth, given it's halfway out the window, what I do is I just propel myself at it and tackle it through the window.
We will see how that goes. Let's, before that happens, flick to Fisher downstairs. These 2 have gone upstairs. You can hear a little bit of clearly something's going on upstairs, but it doesn't sound like combat. Yeah, the smell of ozone sort of permeates down the stairwell.
Then I want to make my way through this ground floor. Wait. I want to make my way through the ground floor. I'm looking for a portable med pack or a weapon in that order.
Okay, and I think a great place for probably both those. It's got to be a kitchen, isn't it? You're going to have a first aid kit in a kitchen. That's common sense. I hope we all have. And there's definitely a weapon in there. It's not great. It's a knife, but there are knives available in the kitchen.
Then I'm going to grab a knife and the first aid kit and make my way back to Corpus.
Okay. You don't have any kind of medical skills. You
I
can
do
make
not.
you can make a blind roll, but I don't know if you want to do that.
Uh, can I follow the instructions and just stabilize him? That's all I want to do. I
100%. I think that's perfectly
like
fair.
I read the thing. Okay, step number one, spray this, and just want to make sure he's not going to die. That's my primary concern.
No, that's a really good sort of description of what you'd want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you pull out a sort of sterile
It looks like you're
bandage.
trying to heal major trauma. Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, stick this smart bandage on his head, and it sort of seals round whatever blood loss. Blood's no longer coming through it. So as long as he hasn't got any internal damage, you think yeah, he's still breathing. So that's a really good sign.
Good.
Hex.
Hmm.
Your colleague's gone down this corridor. He spent a bit burning through this door. So, I mean, you've easily got enough time to get right behind him if you wish.
Yeah, I think stopping the synth is probably our priority. Could I throw my? I don't know. It's not a thrown weapon, is it? It's a melee weapon.
It's not a thrown weapon. I think you could throw it, though, but it's not aerodynamic and it's not
Yeah.
designed for flight.
The only thing that I can hope for is probably that Rook hits the thing and then I can smash it. I'm not going to step between the Rook and the thing, obviously. But I'm trying to, beeline maybe, anticipating that he will either hit and then I can smack him, or miss and then I can jump after him.
Okay. What you do also notice, which may freak you out, may not, is there's clearly a disabled synth morph in the room, but there is also a pile of skin
Ugh,
uh, and a skinned person.
ouch.
Yeah,
That is horrible.
yeah. Have you seen this sort of thing before?
No?
No. So I would like a sanity check at -1
Eee.
for a sort of fresh exposure to this. But you're a pretty sane guy. In fact, you're more sane than most.
Yeah.
So
How sane
you,
am I?
you're the full dish of sanity.
8?
You
No,
are.
7. Is it?
No, you're
Sanity. Oh,
eight,
sorry.
eight,
8, 8,
eight
8.
sanity.
Yes. Nice. So I roll with 7 then. -1, -2?
-1. -1. There is more evilness out there.
Yeah. Is that a D? That is a D8, isn't it? D4, D6. Oh, no, it is. Submit.
They're definitely D10s you've rolled, which is awesome.
Yes.
And you've rolled a 9. You are the master of 9 so far.
Good.
That's pretty good. So all you need to do is reduce your sanity pool by 1. Or you could keep it where it is and add a tick to a stress track. Or you can do fight, flight, or detachment.
I do stress. What stress would you suggest? Violence?
I think this
Helplessness?
is yeah, you're witnessing the result of extreme violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, extreme nastiness. Okay, so we're one along that track. Excelente. So I think we now need a little bit. So you're just diving at him, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like a curved
Yeah,
run.
you're going to go curve. Rook, you're throwing yourself at him. Is that sort of what?
Yeah, it's literally they're half out of the window, right? My idea is I have eelware in my hands, right? They're a synth mod. Probably the
Yeah.
eelware is probably more effective than the laser is. I am going to tackle them and ride them down to the ground floor with eelware in them, hopefully. That's it.
Okay, I think we need athletics to sort of leap on them before they exit the window. They are carrying something.
Well,
Looks like a pile of skin, actually.
yeah, that's probably what drives me to this rage, basically. Ah, there is a button to clear all dice from the room, I see. There we go.
Yeah.
I missed that before. So athletics, I have 6 in athletics now. No, that's the wrong one. Only a 6.
It's definitely changed tonight with the minus 20 points, hasn't it? It's
Yeah.
a large effect. Yeah, while somebody's been rolling 9s all night, poor Rook has yet to get on the scoring board. I'm going to definitely get to the window, but this thing sort of gets out. Maybe there's an entanglement between you and Hex. We will find out. So reduce your athletics by 1. Task. You aren't getting assistance from anybody. If the task could have consequences, GM will bring them to play. May result in 1d10ing going until you sort out the problem. I think clearly they've smashed all the glass and that's now sitting on the floor. So I think you sort of just get short of the window and crash down onto this glass. So I think until you cleared the window area, you're going to be at -1. This thing has now sort of dragged itself out of the window with this sort of, I don't want to say bag, but they're definitely carrying Hex. So poor Rook is sort of leapt at this thing, clearly not estimated the distance correctly, or it's just sort of moved just. I think we can have Rook's hands slide down the cool metal of this synth morph as it exits the window, as his fingers sort of glide down its chrome sort of armored leg as it steps out. What would you like to do?
I would
You're sort of
like
now barreling in from the left.
Yes, exactly. I'm barreling. I can't say that. I'm running really quickly. And if I see any chance of reaching the creature before it disappears, I will. Like leap.
There's always a chance there's a chance.
Exactly.
You know, I'm never going to say no. So again, I think this is an athletics check. I'm going to put you at -1 due to the fact of Rook's now on the floor in front of you, and you don't really want to run over him. And yeah, you've come in at a bit of an off angle. So athletics at -1.
That is 3 dice. Now we're talking. Delete. Where's the delete? Clear everything, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Clear everything. Okay, cool. 3d10. Let's go. 8. It's an 8. Still rolling well.
You are still rolling well. So lose 1 from your skill pool though. But we've got recovery for that. When we get downtime, we can do that if need be. Yeah, you get out the window with it, and now you're on a small sort of balcony. Rook's behind you, sort of fluffing around in some glass. But he's is your intention to get up, Rook? I'd have thought so.
So roll around in the glass for a while. I chose fight, right? So
yeah. You're going to be, so Rook's getting himself up behind your Hex, but this thing is now, you've sort of grabbed it a little bit.
Yeah.
It deploys some quite menacing looking blades.
Okay, I want to my first instinct is to my first instinct is to prevent myself to be killed. So I'm trying to hack at the blades, like with a monkey wrench. I want to strike it to the side.
Okay, I think you if you get a success, this will be force it in a position that's advantageous to oh my god, I've gone out of focus again. What's going on? Well,
so melee skill is 3. How's that only 3? Doesn't make sense.
It can't be 3. You are the melee king.
I'm the monkey wrench king. Okay, it's just 3. What can I say? Give me an 8. On
I'm
it.
still trying to get in focus. Anyway, we'll continue playing with me as blurry as they come.
Submit. Dude, 889. Look at me.
Yeah, you're killing me in a very blurry kind of way. That's really, really good. So, yeah, this foe is nasty, very nasty. It's not just capable foe. This is the next level up, and this is really bugging me. In fact, yeah. Let me just disable video. Oh, all laugh. I've now totally disappeared.
Invisible. That's cool.
That is cool. Okay, we'll still progress with this. I'm not going to leave it mid. These things are sent to try success. The exertion costs you though. Deduct one from your skill pool. You can pick one of the following: do damage equal to their weapons, your weapons rating minus their armor. Your attack can hold them at bay or force them to change position. Or you can draw attention onto yourself. I'd like to say it's probably already there. And then I'll get to also pick something from my list.
Yeah, I want it to I want to force it into a position which so that it cannot escape, like with a back to the wall or with a back to the balcony, actually, to the to the abyss.
To the window. Yeah, I think you sort of then maneuver in front of it, so it's now basically Rook inside.
Oh, there you go.
There I go. This synth, and then you.
Yeah. So I retract my statement. I will force it in a position so that it turns its back to Rook, which is at the window, right? Or is that not possible?
On the balcony, you can either rotate it so it's sandwiched between you and Rook.
Yeah.
Or you can belt it hard, or you can just sort of look at me, hit me, please.
No, sandwich it.
Sandwich it. Excellent. Now I pick some from my list. So you can either take damage equal to 2 times their scale, force them into a new position, or drop something empty. I'm going to have you drop your wrench. The wrench, I mean, it's not gone. It's just on the floor in front of you.
Okay.
There's always wrestling.
I do have a knife in my boot.
There you go. We've got an emergency weapon. It's now sandwiched between you and Rook. This looks like. Do either of you two have morph? No morphs.
No morphs? What does it mean?
There's a no skill, and one of the picks from that is no morph. You do.
I do. Five no morphs. I know my morphs.
Think make a no morph skill check to know a bit about this morph.
5d10. Let's go. 10.
You've seen this model before. This is the X300 combat robot. Clearly, either this has been telepresenced or somebody's put a puppet sock cortical stack in this X300. This is quite a high end. This is not a cheap morph. This is designed for one purpose and one purpose only.
Could be hacked though, is what I assume. No.
You can if it's been telepresence, then that's easier.
Yeah.
If it's not, if there's somebody in there, that's puppet sock. You'd have to be very, very good. Their muse would be putting up quite a high level of defense. Okay. Not impossible. Nothing's impossible. Just hard.
What was the first thing? I don't recall the term.
It's robot, as in nobody's here at all.
Yeah. Okay.
It's being remote controlled. Possible. If it is, then your hacking efforts are a lot easier. Yeah.
I relay the information to Rook.
Rook, this thing is now in front of you. Behind it is Hex. This thing is, Hex has just told you this is a combat bot. It's nasty.
Yeah. I say, what gave it the fuck away? And I'm going to try and hit it with my eelware, I think.
Eelware. Okay. Let's see. Come on, let's get a better roll than what's happened before, Rook.
Yeah, so that would be I have where's melee? 7 + 1 from my mod, so 8 from my pod. Sorry,
You gotta run. You gotta roll well here.
I didn't. I rolled a 7.
So many dice. So
Mhm.
many dice. Okay. Oh, we're at a really good time point. So rules. Against something nasty. Failure. The Kismet Hardy, maybe. Deduct 1 from your skill pool.
Yeah.
Take health damage equal to 4 times their scale minus armor. Now, this thing's not huge, and there is only one of them. But it slices and dices you quite nastily as your eelware sort of tries to wrap around it and do some damage. But this thing's moving way beyond your sort of combat speed. So take 4 health minus your armor.
Okay.
And I get to pick one from the list. I'm going to actually pick the final one. They escape from the fight. This thing sort of sidesteps, doses you a bit, and then sidesteps Hex and leaps onto a roof. It's not completely gone, but it leaps onto another roof and starts moving its speed over this rooftop, carrying this bundle of flesh. And I think this is a good time to take a slightly early break. Back on the hour, folks.
Sounds
Excellent. Good. Welcome back, everybody. Here we go with the penultimate. That was the penultimate break, and we're now back for a bit more play. And hopefully, my aim is to round out some kind of story arc here. Yeah, let me try. That's what I'm going to try and do. This combat, possibly a combat droid, possibly a synth, has jumped onto a nearby roof and is hightailing it in a sort of northwesty direction, sort of deeper into the city. Now Rook does have a ranged weapon. He's not out for a count yet. That's 100% for sure. And Hex has come up with a phenomenal plan. But first, I'm going to you okay? Are you still eating, Fisher? Do you want me to go with somebody else first?
My next step, and actually we should probably play out the comment, but essentially when we come back to me after we resolve that chase, essentially I am ransacking the first floor.
That's good, because I possibly have something to tell you on that.
Okay.
Do you want me to go to the others and then come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay, happy for that. So yeah, Hex, you've got a plan of something you want to do. Hex knows that this could be a telepresence robot rather than actually a proper synth. Tell us what you're going to do, Hex.
I would like to jam the signal that potentially controls that thing.
Awesome. So you're going to hit all the airwaves, a broad spectrum sort of jam out of and of course, because you've got a cyber brain, you've got some electronics, the usual things you hook up to the mesh. Your muse will just alter some of them and send out this broad spectrum sort of airwave kill sort of thing. Hopefully, this fleeing thing will just stop where it is and all will be good. We will let's see how you're. So this is the skill of infosec. Let's see if there's anything that's going to assist or. Haven't really got any superior equipment. I wouldn't say you're really hurrying it, but you haven't got any time to take some extra time prepping. So I think this is a flat roll, my friend.
So 5d10.
Yeah.
If
The good times. The
Isn't
good
it-
times still continue to roll
yes,
in.
it's an 8.
Yeah. So deduct 1 from your skill pool. And let's give you a success here. It's not the success you were actually looking for. It continues moving. It doesn't even seem really affected by this. And I think that does give you a good answer to your question. That there is somebody in it.
Can we conclude that it's that we have like influential opposition?
Yes. Yeah, your muse will get back to you and say, you know, I've tried overloading the airwaves. This thing's frequency hopping. It's doing all the sort of electronic good stuff. Yeah. So Stokes, you know, is like, you know, I can't get a grip of this. This is, yeah, whatever's in there is pretty good. Yeah.
You did your best, Nix.
Good point. Got it wrong. Look at the wrong one. Excellent. You got it right. Rook, this it's getting smaller and smaller in your optical vision as it hightails.
Is it still within close range? Because the hand laser, I chose a concealable weapon rather than a long range weapon.
I'm going to give you a shot at it's at the extreme of close range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it?
But it's on the edge of the blade.
Edge of close range.
Yeah. So I will fire then with my 8 dice in guns.
Get the dice on it.
Yeah, it's a 9.
Hey, finally, we're coming in big.
Yeah.
You hit it at range. So engage something nasty at range. Deduct 1 from your skill pool. Pick one for the following list. Do damage. Your attack can hold them at bay or force them to change position, or you draw attention on it yourself. Now, they're not armed with a ranged weapon, so I'm not going to have them pull out some sort of pistol and blast you back. Yeah. So what would you like to do out of those lists?
I'm thinking that doing damage to them equal to their weapons rating minus their armor, it's probably not going to do enough to stop them. So I think that I do with my I'd like to force them to change position, perhaps knocking them off the roofs that we're on, you know.
100%. We can have this thing tumble from the roof. Basically, some roofing material gives way, sort of under it. Tiles start to slide off the roof, and you see it digging in sort of claws. It even digs in one of its sort of like katanas as it slides off the roof. And I mean, you know, it's on it's 2 stories up, so it now goes down into an alleyway. Yeah, you hear some clattering of roof tiles, a big thud. It's now moved out of vision range though, into this alleyway. But you know that's pretty good. Yeah, your laser melted this section of roof, and you know it's no longer running on the roof. It's in a lot more of an accessible area, hopefully. But it's a distance away, and you can't fire at it anymore. Happy with that?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't think it definitely. It outmatches even this pod, you know. It's something very nasty, and I'm not equipped with the right tools to take it down. But I did choose fight, so I have to keep fighting it, right? Like I can't just.
No, I think you do need to at least have an attempt to continue to pursue it until you cannot see it anymore. You know where it's gone down. I think you've got to drive here a bit.
Yeah. I yell at Hex. go help Fisher secure this. The security is going to be here any minute. And I leap across I'm going to try running across the rooftops after this this synth, basically.
You madman! It will kill you.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I'm also doing no. I'm not even trying to stop him.
He looks sort of. You look a bit hell-bent for leather hair, don't you? I think, Rook, as you're hightailing it. Yeah, across the roof. But give us time to flick to Fisher. I think so. You're having a look round this lower floor.
Yep.
It's clearly the owner has got some wealth. You can see that. They do tend to live not ostentatiously. It doesn't look like sort of Michael Jackson's front room. This is a man with some style, quite minimalist. Other shops and other styles are available. It's got to be a perceived check, really. You're looking for something good. We've got to see if you can find something good.
Can I kind of get an advantage by taking my time since they've kind of headed out and have a little more space?
And I think you sort of said that you're doing that. So, we'll definitely give you a roll on that. If Hex wants to now come down or do something else, we'll allow it to do that. But let's have you make that roll, and you definitely got one extra dice for taking your time.
Oh, hang on, let me clear this.
Whoa, that's a lot of dice.
Yeah, let me clear that. Let me try again. Even though I know that was a good roll, it was also really hard to read.
You're a good man, Al.
9.
That's pretty goddamn good. Reduce one from your pool.
Okay.
Looking at the dimensions outside and the dimensions inside, you think there is something extra around the kitchen area.
Okay.
A little bit of narrowing down would probably...
Everything I can that looks vaguely valuable that I could fence or hawk is going into like pocket, shopping bags, that kind of thing. And once I get that space spotted, I'll kind of hold on there until one of them comes back.
Sounds good. You pick up some Italia Toika birds. These are clearly pre-fall. Somebody's gone to some effort to get these off Earth, either before the fall, but they would probably be worth a bit. Definitely quite statusy. Italia Toika birds are quite nice.
Good.
Okay. I won't put up a picture of them. Over to you, Hex. So do you want to do anything upstairs as Rook goes hightailing over this roof, or are you going to descend to Fisher?
Yeah, I'm definitely running down to Fisher. Was there a garage in the compound or in the thing?
You want a garage?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a garage.
I especially want a vehicle in the garage.
Why not? Indeed, yeah. Let's have some. I haven't really thought of. He's not going to have an air car, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, Mars is the biggest planet in the solar system now that Earth's its biggest habitable planet system, really in the solar system. Now that Earth is fallen, so yeah, let's have a nice, smart sort of ground car. Let's not have something prissy here. This is quite a beefy 4x4, but it's nice. It's not like the one you rode in on. This thing is definitely got some Range Rover equivalent.
I'm calling Fisher on the comms, or if I see him, I just yell, stop the looting, let's get into the car. Material things won't save your soul, and it will definitely not save Rook from being sliced apart.
I'm sorry, were you saying something, Hex? I'm sorry.
Get in the car, man.
No, there's a secret room. I need your help.
A secret room for what?
I don't know. It's a secret.
Well, we could lose Rook. We can always get back to the secret room.
Rook is a combat.
Have you seen the thing?
No, I haven't. But
Katanas, claws, titanium casing, murder stare.
Did Rook say that they wanted backup?
No, but he's not really right in the head at the moment.
I don't think that seems like you're being judgy there.
You haven't seen his
look, Hex. We came here with a purpose to try and find out something about what's going on. We've got a 72-hour window. We need to at least check out the secret area to see if it tells us something so that we can continue on, find out what happened to our regular selves, and get
I
this
see
problem
through you,
solved.
Fisher. What you're looking for is fucking gold or some bullshit.
No, I've already got that. That's in my bag. What
I swear to God, if we lose Rook, because you want to stuff even more shit into your pockets.
If we lose Rook, I will take these birds and I will shatter them.
What kind of birds are you talking about? No, you're babbling. Let's go to the secret room.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this is a flick to Rook. Rook, you pound over this rooftop, get to the area that it leapt over, got to the side, you blasted it, and then it fell down. Looking down, you can see a lot of roof tiles. You can also see a bit of a blade and some sort of fluid. There's a sort of bit of a pile of blood and a little bit of flesh, but there's some other kind of fluid here. There is not a combat synth, though. It has gone somewhere.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, it clearly can't disappear, but it's gone somewhere.
Yeah.
So you can remove your no, leave the fight there, because you can't pick it again until all the others are filled. But you are no longer subject to fight. The combat situation has disappeared.
Yeah, but maybe I want to.
Well, you can. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you. Well, there's many options. I don't think you're going to grab somebody, or are you?
I'm gonna look around for it. Like how far away did it go? Like
look around for it. I thought you were just going to grab some passerby and fill them in.
Oh,
I want fight. I think you're in a perfectly good. I think this sort of falls under.
See?
Did you say
no? I don't know. Is there something other than perceive for tracking someone?
I think it is sort of perceivy. I can't see it being anything else really.
Survival would be tracking something in the wild, but we're in a city.
Moving through hostile environments, navigate track in the wild, find a safe. Oof. I'd allow a survival I'd allow it at minus.
Yeah, well, my perceive is better anyways, so perceive.
Well, perceive it is, unless you didn't want it to come down.
Unless I what?
Unless you don't want it to decay in points.
Oh, decay.
But then there's always recovery.
Yeah, but you've also said the name of the system, right? So
you've got to sort of get it in there at least once.
Say the title of the movie. Right, I perceive. So that is 6 die. 10.
Brilliant. This fluid, you think it's leaking it? It's some sort of hydraulic or something. It does go on. It's getting smaller and smaller, but you've definitely onto something here. I'm not going to remove your 10. You track it for 10 meters and then it disappears. You're tracking it. You don't see it. It's clearly has moved at some speed, but you're tracking it sort of northwest. It's definitely heading in that direction. You can continue until something happens, or at any stage you could say, I sort of know where it's gone. I'm going to return. The fluid's not dissipating.
Yeah. And it's damaged. It's injured. If it bleeds, I can kill it. So I run after it. I chase after it. I bring up Stokes, my muse, and I tell him to to calm the others' muses, and to be if we can connect to each other, then Stokes can talk to them to fill them in on what I'm doing as I go, rather than me have to talk to them.
No, Stokes will give them a full sort of GPS track of where they go. There's good mesh in Noctis, so you can get them all that information. And this comes down quickly to Nix and Parker, who will relay this to both you two. That Rook's in pursuit. You've sort of got a triangulation on where your muses think it's going.
And I say, and the one thing that Stokes says is for sure that clear the house, find out what the hell's going on. I've got this. Like I don't want backup. I want them to fulfill the objective while I track down, because I'm assuming I don't know where it's going to, right? So at the very least, what I want to find out is, where is this thing going to?
Okay, so back to Fisher and Hex after your little disagreement on ownership of things. Yeah, I think. Are you going to sort of say where you think this thing is?
Yeah, I show Hex the location, and while I'm not good with InfoSec interface, I know how criminal stuff works. I have a little bit of infiltration, so I want to help Hex figure out how to get this thing open.
I think the skill, you've 100% hit it on the head. It's infiltrate. Definitely work together on this. I think you're actually pretty good at it, Fisher. Not wanting to put yourself down.
Oh, yeah, InfoSec and interface are my weak points there. So yeah, Hex, will you help me?
Yeah, we could definitely work as collaboratively, as a commune.
I'm just is it infiltrate? Is sort of conceal an object, evade a sensor system?
I can see is that a group thing? Maybe like a group.
You can definitely do it as a group. This is 100% a group thing. I'm just trying to pin down the skill. Why do I keep having skills that are sort of nebulously cool?
See, I would think it would be interface to actually get this thing open, and then like infiltrate.
It's sort of opposite of infiltrate. Yeah.
I could see that like narratively that Hex would interact with the house AI to tell it to open the thing up.
Okay, that is undergoing chaos software attack, but that is lessening. Clearly, it must have had something to do with what was going on upstairs.
Is that good or bad is the question. I mean, if it's already under attack, is it then weaker?
The house is trying to sort of reboot itself, gain control of itself again. So chaos software is basically just sort of nudged it. It puts it at a massive minus as it's trying to sort of battle this thing. But eventually it will reboot and regain itself. And it's asking other nearby AGIs to sort of try and assist it to get control. So let's have this as a group role.
So yeah, Hex, why don't you? I'll give you an extra die on your 6 for the interface.
That could work. So I have 7 now.
Yep, act as a group.
Clear the room. 7 dice. Submit. Ooh, that is terrible.
That's not good.
That is not good. That is a failure.
Both of you deduct 1 from your skill pool.
InfoSec.
You pretty much know exactly where this is. You've pinned it down. You just can't get in there. You're going to have to find another method. I'm going to say, yeah.
Let's go check upstairs and see what's going on up there.
Maybe we can find a key card or something.
Right.
I'm contacting Rook. Rook, What about the skin? Why did it take the skin? That makes no sense.
I'll ask it when I catch up.
You are a single-minded MF.
Why don't you look at the body and tell me?
Well,
Was
it's
that Mobius? What was the other synth?
I know it was pretty unpleasant. That is what I know.
Well, you're gonna have to go back up and look again, I'm afraid, Hex. I'm busy.
I might spare Fisher the view though.
I was looking forward to Fisher's face when they go like, what's all this? Oh, oh.
Oh. I'm talking to Nix. Nix, is Togue as much of an asshole as Rook?
Probably, yeah. I think he is. Yeah.
He's hard to get on with. That's what Nick says. He's hard to communicate with. So yeah, you two, you've stabilized habeas corpus, and yeah, you're go
Searching the
upstairs.
house, essentially.
So you don't want to introduce Fisher to this room.
Well,
What?
this one room,
Let's play
I
this
will
out.
talk to Fisher.
What are you going to say to him, Hex? Let's
I'm
play this
saying
out because I think this is
you
good.
you might want to skip this. There's a, there's a pretty unpleasant, skinned person in there. Made me almost puke. And I've seen shit.
What like
Yeah, why? Exactly.
yeah. Um huh. Well, I know you can encode messages in genetic material, or maybe you use it as a key frame, but
Yeah,
I don't think
maybe.
you'd need to take the skin.
Well, he skinned the guy, which is maybe Dr. Mobius, and then took the thing with him.
Okay. How about I check these other rooms?
You go on, I check the body.
Okay.
Okay, now you haven't got forensics medicine. Let's try and find. Okay, so well, there's a humanoid body. We're just going to say
Yeah.
humanoid at this stage. In front of you, there's a pile of skin.
Okay.
And when I say we're not talking a few flakes here. We're
Yeah.
talking a pile of somebody's skin.
I mean, I do
Um,
have mnemonics. Difficult to say the word, but I do have
no,
it.
no, I agree with you. I find mnemonics quite a
100%.
difficult word.
And
Uh,
I mean, can I have the video, so to speak, of Mobius and then enter, what's the word I'm looking for? With the body on the floor to
oh, mate,
see
that
like
sounds so cool. I can't see why not.
yeah, it's not forensics, but hey.
Yeah, no. I will 100% tell you that it is a middle-aged man's body. Yeah, I mean, you can see sort of genitalia. It is definitely a adult male body there. I
Is there
think
is there hair left?
it is being completely skinned.
Hmm. Are there is there anything of the clothes left?
Yes, there is something of the clothes left. There's a lab coat, a white lab coat.
Lab coat.
There's a sort of oldish grey business jacket, sports jacket sort of thing, and a shirt. Yeah, all the clothing seems to be to the left of the body. To the right of the body is this pile of skin.
Oh, is there the glass pistol somewhere?
There are no glass pistols.
So, so just to double check, there's a skin body here or a pile of skin?
There's both.
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 So the thing has taken something else, right?
Is there another body?
Well, I mean,
There's a synth body here.
yeah. Whatever the synth that I'm chasing has taken is something that was between the skin and the the body, you know, like some
That's
sort of,
creepy in itself, my friend.
yeah,
That's
what
so
could that be?
weird. Like, interesting.
So you definitely know that the corpse is an adult male.
And the lab coat, I mean, we
That's
only
sort of
ever
stacked.
saw him within a lab coat, the guy.
I mean, it's diced. You know, this is not neatly folded. This is
Sure.
it's been sliced and diced
Hmm.
quite nicely next to him, but it has been fully removed. You know, and thrown there. Then you got this pile of skin, and then this synth.
Well, before we see how Fisher loots the rest of the house, can I check the synth?
Certainly. Again, quite a reasonably high-end synth. It's been blasted quite heavily in the torso, and something has gone at it with blades, and I'm going to give you this for free. Has clearly removed the cortical stack
Bollocks! That's what I wanted to
from
hack.
it. Yes, whatever was in the synth, somebody has taken.
Okay, cool. Over to you, Fisher.
I'm gonna check. I'm kind of hunting around the rest of this upstairs to see if there's any access codes, ID things, other information that we can find, a receipt for our bodies, that kind of stuff.
I'm going to say no, but what does strike you as odd is there's sort of like 4 bedrooms up here. 3 of them are as minimalist as you could possibly make a bedroom. There is a bed with some sort of futuristic sheet on it, one bedside table. Everything is in bright white, and that is it. The 4th bedroom clearly has been lived in. Again, quite minimalist.
Is it messy?
Yeah, I'm going to say it is quite messy. Not
Would
like
you
it's been
describe it as a
turned up.
pigsty?
Uh,
All right.
no. It doesn't look as if it's been turned over, actually, but yeah, whoever is sleeping in here isn't the world's.
Yeah.
But you did find some quarters on the lower floor. Actually, I'll give you that. I
Okay.
failed to tell you that
Yeah.
earlier. That probably looks like habeas corpuses,
Right.
and that's a lot better decked out than this. This is quite sloppily lived in. Whoever lives in here.
Looking for any external backup PDAs or drives or materials or anything like that. I just want to see anything else I can grab that I
no,
can
this
take
is a
to
purely living
Hex.
area. I think your muses will sort of communicate this. The room that Hex is in, that definitely looks like some sort of office business room. There is business equipment round there. In fact, let's have a bit of a damaged server rack in there as well, Hex. Now, you've clearly been concentrating on the bodies, but yeah, there's a damaged server rack in here as well.
But we haven't seen a lab of any kind yet, have we?
Not on ground floor or the
Okay.
first floor.
Basement maybe. Or is there a second floor?
No. It's 2 stories. Yeah.
I'll say we got to go back downstairs. When Rook gets back here, we can have him heal up the pig. We got to keep looking around down here.
I check on the pig when we go down. Still unconscious?
At this stage, he is still unconscious. I'm not going to have him come around for free yet.
Is there a basement?
This would be a great. If it was Gumshoe, we'd just do a architecture, wouldn't we? And that would be it.
I want to put my ear to essentially the floor. I do have enhanced hearing.
Good call.
If there's stuff, maybe if we can hear that there's machinery or things or other things going on down below,
That is so cool what you've just said. Yes.
Okay.
You do hear that there is machinery at least.
Yeah.
And
There's
it would be
definitely
odd if
some.
there wouldn't be any kind of crawl spacey kind of entry.
There's mechanicals down below.
Yeah. So I don't think we can. We just need to find another way of doing what you were trying to do with a different set of skills.
Yeah. What do we have? Let's see. I do have hardware. I mean, can I access the mesh and have the floor plan of the house or something? Like the architect has left.
I say access the HVAC, the air conditioning, the heating, cooling, because that has to monitor all the rooms.
Cool, I'll do that. We can
I'll give you
also
that for free. It does come back and say, basement. Everything's within standard parameters for heating and humidity.
Could we use you do have infiltrate, right? Can we like track down maybe a vent? No, what's it called? Not a vent. A duct or something?
You're 100% cool with the vent, mate. 100% cool.
Yeah.
You want to find
inside.
a duct, aircon duct.
Yeah. And have a fisher crawl through it.
Sure.
I like how you volunteer other people. That's always cool.
I don't have the skill.
Well, you've got infiltrate.
I do. At 5. Yeah, I can give you like a boost on the group roll or whatever it's called.
Yeah, let me so that'll give me 5 dice if you give me a die. Okay.
Have it.
Let me clear. I'm feeling good about this.
I am as well.
9.
Yes.
We're
in.
Lose 1 from your skill. It's a little bit claustrophobic in here. These are not the biggest ducks, and it freaks you out a little bit. But yeah, you eventually end up in this basement, and you have entered a small Aladdin's cave, it seems. In here in a tank, and it's quite a large tank, is another morph. Let me see if I can give you a picture.
Resleeving. Let's resleeve.
This other morph.
Wow.
There is a large, it's about 2 meters across. It's a pod, similar, well, not similar, but similar to what you're in. So it's engineered a mixture of cybernetics and organic matter. It's called a Nova crab. They look like some pretty nasty Ford pincers. And this is sort of suspended in a tank of gloop, various cables going in and out of it. To its left is a weapons rack. And yeah, there's various sort of monitoring equipment. I'm going to bin out of this now.
I don't touch anything because I don't want a lecture from Hex. And the first thing I do is I go and figure out a way to get the access.
There is a set of stairs going up.
Okay. I'll let Hex in.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at this thing. That is cool.
There's a weapon rack over here.
Well,
if it is okay with you, I'm going to take a weapon.
We can liberate the weapons, right?
If it's okay with you, I'm going to liberate a weapon.
Sure. We don't do it for the material value. We don't do it for the functional value, right?
Indeed.
There is a battle rifle. So this is sort of one up from an assault rifle, slightly longer range.
I will take that, and I will trade that to Rook later.
And next to it is it looks like it's hard. Looks like a sort of a construction sort of well, it's a piston spike. So yeah, I want to say it's a sort of more of a sort of a miniature jackhammer, I think would be a good way to describe it.
Sounds
it's
cool.
sort of a mechanically, pneumatically driven spike. There's a larger version called the piston spear, but this still looks pretty nasty.
Is it like an upgrade to my wrench?
Yeah, you could go to town on somebody
Okay.
with this. So yeah, we've got three things here. We got a ranged weapon, a melee weapon, and we've got this pod floating in a tank. Yeah,
Now, you said it was a Nova Crab, right?
yeah.
Yes.
That implies that we know what a Nova Crab is. So, what is a Nova Crab? Like, is that something
Okay,
significant?
so it's this large sort of 2 meter crab. They tend to be used in three sort of areas. They make quite good bodyguards. They also excel at vac work because they can survive temperatures. They've also got an oxygen reserve built into them, and they can vacuum seal. They can sort of seal all their pores, etc.,
So
etc.
they're not illegal and they're not necessarily tightened.
Oh no, they're definitely not Titan. The legality of them, they're not illegal. The only thing I will say is I seriously doubt that you'd find one moving around in Noctis at all. It would draw a boatload of attention. Literally, if you to skitter out here in a Nova Crab, um, it would draw a boatload of attention. That's probably the problem with it.
I say, I'm a little dyslexic. Can you check the displays and see if there's any information here about like, is this just a standard Nova Crab or is he modifying it or something?
Yeah,
Hex?
I'd like to access the thing.
I'll tell you for free that there's nobody in it.
Yeah.
Looking at the readout on the sort of uplink machine next to it, yeah, it's empty, really awaiting somebody being uploaded into the cyberbrain through the cortical stack. It doesn't look modified. I mean, those pincers look pretty nasty, Hex. Yeah, I mean, they're not titanium pincers that can chop a head off at 50 feet, but yeah, that would hurt if that got a limb in it.
So two things. We could use it, like one of us could sleeve
You
inside
could
the
re-sleeve
thing.
into it. Yeah, definitely.
We would draw a shitload of attention to us. I don't know if he'd want that. But we could stop probably the thing that Rook is chasing if one of us volunteers. And the second thing is, what does it do here? Is it just a bodyguard?
It's not doing anything.
I mean, why does he have it?
Does it look stocked? Does it look like he's made modifications to it?
No,
Standard.
yeah, I don't think either of you two have you got knowledge morphs. I think you have, haven't you, Hex?
I do have. I can make a roll.
I think this is where you'll know morphs comes in, whether it's been modified or
not. 5 things. Let's see. Clear the room. Yes. I'll clear the room again. 5. Submit. 10. I know everything.
You know it. Yeah, this is a bog standard, off the shelf Nova Crab. Very odd to find on the Martian surface in a city. Quite. You may see the odd one or two of them out on Mars, but they tend to be used, up in space, or yeah. I mean, there's a lot better things for it. They can be used as bodyguards, but there'd be a lot better things to pick. For instance, a combat pod.
Yeah. Hex, if you want to jump in this and go back up Rook, I will hold here and secure your present morph.
We would draw attention to ourselves.
It's up to you. Why don't you ask Rook what they want?
Rook, how close are you to the thing? We have a Neo Crab.
A Nova Crab morph?
Yes. I'm checking on your, on your knowledge.
What? Despair?
Despair?
No, maybe it's just one of the. Maybe it's you found an overcrowd morph in a hidden room inside Doc Mobius's.
Shall I get inside the thing? Shall I re-sleeve and follow? I mean, with the crab, we can take the thing apart.
You wouldn't catch up as the pig started talking yet?
Well, none of us has the skills to wake him up.
Fuck. What happens if you roll without having anything in the skill?
Well,
What if, like theoretically, our muses communicate and the skill of Rook is somehow, plays a role, like with a minus something?
Do you have puppet?
I do. You can just control me while you're running? That
So,
sounds difficult.
Is it possible for us to swap brains?
Wow, I follow the thing.
Like I keep
you could definitely control each other. Your core stack will still remain where it is, but
Yeah.
I think yeah, I mean, I'm
That
not
is super cool. Let's do this.
I think this is super cool.
100%.
You could temporarily swap bodies if you wish.
Yeah.
I control you and you
yeah.
control me, but we stay in the
I mean,
bodies.
so probably the easiest thing would be that you stop what you're doing, Rook, and then jump in with Hex where he is.
Probably.
But I definitely say that you could flick if you wished.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
I come to jump across an alleyway, right? And I swear, and I beam into the Hex, and I say, "Look, we're gonna swap, and I'm gonna get that pig up. You keep moving, okay?
Just moving, no fancy stuff."
Yeah, and then flash of the eyes or whatever it is, right? The cinematic effect of it, right? I want.
There's that sort of blurry hands. As you sort of get to grips with his body, he sort of gets to grip a bit with yours. This is super cool. Now your instructions to Hex, carry on. He doesn't really know what he's following though, Rook.
I mean,
the trail, like the liquid,
I
right?
think we're going to need a perceive check from you. You've taken over here, Hex. This is quite weird. I'm not going to face it at a minus. He has explained it to you what you're looking for in a very short degree. Carry on following it.
I mean, he saw it. He knows what to look for.
Yeah, and my perceive is.
No, he didn't see the gloop. Only you saw that when you went down on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, he can like pop it up in the overhead.
Yeah. Oh, well, a bit of picture in picture. Why not?
I mean, when into the body, the gloops already highlighted like Arkham Detective mode.
Okay, 3d10. That is not good.
Okay, you continue to go northwest.
Yeah, the direction, but I don't.
You have one more die in perceive.
No, I had to remove one.
Oh, I see. You haven't. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Burnt one or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Well,
I'm definitely going to come back with you with something, Hex. It's cool. I like it. I'm going to give you something. Maybe not exactly what you wanted. Rook. So, you get the sort of grainy hands, floaty hands, and then finally you think you're in this. We're not gender swapping, and if we are, that'd be fine.
Here's
you two are quite similar, really. His is just a bit more basic than your last, so I don't think this is a problem. You are in this cool underground basement.
Yeah, Rook looks up at the hands, and the slightly grainy vision flicks on, and he goes, "What a piece of shit."
I hear that.
Fisher, where's the pig?
Upstairs here. I'll flash it on the thing. I'll say there's a med kit sitting by it. I did basic on it.
Yeah. Stiff-leggedly walk up the stairs. Yeah. And I will attempt to do.
I've still got that scene. Was it the guy that played Private Pile? He's in Men in Black 2, where it's the huge creature that is inside, and he's sort of
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the actor.
You got to wear an Edgar suit.
Yeah,
Vincent D'Onofrio, I think.
that's it. Yeah. Not a great film, but it was good acting.
He's great.
Yeah. So lying in front of you is this hyper pig, Neo pig, I think, in this, but I always like the term hyper pig. Yeah, it's not Scorpio. It's habeas corpus.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I kneel down and I go, "Come on, corp," and I'll roll 5d10. I guess. Do I get a bonus from the medkit?
Yeah, I'll give you one. Why not? Yeah.
Happen to negotiate
And
behind
plus,
that.
you can take more time if you want.
No, I mean I want to get back to Chase. I don't trust Hex to return to keep this up. 10.
Nice.
10. Bit of an application of smelling salts out of this med pack. Yeah.
I could have done that.
You are doing it.
As I'm stabilizing Habeas and bringing them around, can I work out what happened to them? Like, how were they injured?
Yeah. They got slugged good from behind.
Yeah.
I have a
maybe like
I have a line on blunt force trauma to the head. I will leave it at that.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I think part of the paramedic work is rerouting his like cortical stack. And I don't know if this would this more have a cyber brain or a normal brain?
No. A neo pig it's dissimilar but similar to Fisher. It is a pure biological construct.
Simultaneously working on the cortical stack and reconnecting it to like a bit of like tissue that regenerates with a bit of spray from the fire kit, and injecting him with the right amount of sedative that he doesn't immediately give himself an aneurysm by trying to reconnect those things. Some complicated sci-fi medical treatment.
Yeah, I mean, I think tapping into other great sci-fi, he sort of comes around slowly, sits up and sort of, oh my, what's happened?
And that I think during this point I told Fisher to have that assault rifles trained on him. And I think at the point that he comes around, I just look up at Fisher and I say, make him talk, and then I'm gonna jump back into my own body. Because I've got work to do,
Okay, I think as you two are flicking, I'm gonna go to Fisher, then I'm gonna go back to Hex, and then we'll come back to you, Rook.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's just said this to you, and then he sort of goes a bit limp. Hex goes a bit limp in front of you.
Right. I say, habeas, is it?
Yes, pleased to meet you. Habeas corpus.
Yes. Allow me to give you a quick download of about the last 20 minutes of my conversation.
Is that how long it's been?
Yeah, it's been about that. Let's do it.
Do you mind pointing the weapon away? I'm quite
no,
against weapons.
I'm gonna keep it steady right now while you watch this, and I'll dump load essentially so he gets the blah on what has occurred since he was out, including not seeing the body stripped, but hearing about
smartly,
it.
you didn't actually go in there, Fisher, so you can't show it.
So I will say there are two bodies. One seems to be a synth, and the other seems to not be a synth. This is the situation that has gone on. As I said to you when we first came in, pardon?
Where's Morbius?
Well, that is the question. Who was in the house before?
Morbius and Mr. Klatu.
Okay, well, Mr. Klatu and Morbius are both gone.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's the situation we're in right now. We came here for Mr. Morbius because he told us to come here.
That's Doctor. Dr. Morbius.
I am so sorry for misidentifying Dr. Morbius.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yes. These are what we would call secondary details that perhaps you should not fixate on at this moment.
Very well.
Now, I would like your assistance because Dr. Morbius borked us, and we've got about 48, 42 hours left of our lifespan here to figure out what's going on. Plus, someone has murdered Dr. Morbius and skinned them. So, can you tell me what's going on? Why would they have skinned them?
Oh my.
We would
Well,
like to help Dr. Morbius. If another version of him exists somewhere, they've got his cortical stack. We need to know.
well, there's no Dr. Morbius here. In Noctis, there's no other Dr. Morbius. He will have been backed up locally. Yes, not within the house. Not at all.
Okay. Do you know where his backup is? Because
We'd have to legally apply. We need to prove that he's dead. That could take some time to go through the courts.
Well, then that seems like a situation that we're not going to be dealing with right this second. Who would have wanted Morbius dead, and what was he working on?
And we will get back to that in
Nice.
8 minutes' time. Let's take a
Okay.
break for 8 minutes. That's back at 4 minutes past the hour.
Sure.
Welcome back, everybody. So we just left it with Fisher. Well, no, he didn't raise him, but he was the first to engage with habeas corpus.
Right.
Yep. Quick flight of Hex. Hex. So you sort of lose the trail a bit. But what you do see that startles you is Dr. Mobius. You see him. He walks into this sort of abandoned warehouse.
Cool.
Yeah, he goes in. You're at a distance away, but you could swear that was Mobius. Just as you're about to maybe do something, that body transfer happens. Happens again. Back to you, Fisher. So he was about to say something, wasn't he, about you? So he says, there's no Dr. Mobius. That was the only Dr. Mobius. And he sort of leans towards the barrel of your gun, which is still cracked at him. You're not from the zone, are you?
By the zone, do you mean the Titan exclusion zone?
And in very hushed tones, he says, possibly.
You may have forgotten that I told you that before you got hit on the back of the head.
Oh.
And I go, I'm about to go through a very specific sequence of events with you so you understand the situation a bit. And I go, here's the timeline.
Doctor
Woke
was
up,
expecting
laser
you.
gun.
That means the other doctor's gone as well. Oh my. Both doctors gone.
Yes.
Who could have wanted him? Well, clearly the Titans were against him.
So that's an interesting thing for you to say, and that brings up a number of questions. Why would you say that? For number one, why would the Titans be opposed to him?
Not the Titans specifically. They're gone. But he was doing some research in the TQZ. Yes, a group had gone to the TQZ recently. They must have found something. The doctor was very concerned. So he contacted the doctor, the other doctor in the TQZ.
So he had a version himself. He had a second self in the TQZ.
He'd been there a very long time.
Okay.
The one in the TQZ.
So the situation we have is that somebody went into the TQZ, fucked around with things.
Yes.
Dr. Morbius' zone found out about it and apparently got us involved. And then we're suspecting that whoever was involved with that is probably the same group that attacked here to get Dr. Mobius Prime. Does that sound like a reasonable reading of things?
Yes, I think that sums up events quite well.
Okay.
I mean, it's not been
I
very
need
good in
you to
Noctis.
get me any communications or details or anything that you have about this TQZ incident, anything like that might be here. We need to know if we're going to, and I stress this because I'm sure this is built into his programming. If we are going to save Dr. Morbius, you need to help us.
Definitely perks up when you say save Dr. Mobius.
Yes.
Those little piggy ears flick up in a piggy ear kind of manner.
Yeah.
Yes, we must save the Doctor. We must.
That is what we're help us do that.
Yes. Yeah, this will be slightly lengthy, but I think now's a good time to deliver it. He explains that an expedition group had gone into the TQZ some time ago. A local guide had taken them in, and he Bolgo Tronova. He'd gone in to the. He's a well-known expedition leader who goes close. Yeah, he is in the NPC tab because you'll quickly look him up, and that will be his sort of local Wikipedia page entry. Yeah, he's a well-known sort of roughneck. He takes people close to the zone to observe, but the Doctor believes he took a group into the zone. They were looking for something. Whatever they found riled up what was left in the TQZ, and that's been the recent activity. Now, Bolgo was found dead in Noctis sometime, roughly about 4 days ago. It took the NQPD quite some time to work out it was him. There wasn't much left of him. Something had gone to town on him in a massive way. And since, pardon?
Permadeath,
yes,
like
permadeath. There was no cortical stack recovered at all. And since then, there's been other deaths in Noctis. Not similar though. These ones, people have been skinned.
Yes. Okay.
And he gives you a list of 5 people, which are the 5 people in the NPC tab following Bolgo. All these people have been skinned alive, and their cortical stacks removed.
I will relay that to the others and essentially say, Rook, you really need to catch up with whoever this is.
And I think this is a good time for Hex to reappear in the room with you, Fisher, although he's not really left, but he sort of has. And Rook, you're now stood outside this abandoned warehouse.
Yeah, I'm imagining Rook's body is like a security pod, right? Like the legs lock as the ego leaves, right? And it just goes like, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. I replay the last like few seconds of visual data in my cyber brain and see the Doctor going into the warehouse. And I tighten my grip of my hand laser, and I come back to the others and I say,
At this stage, you are no longer affected by fight, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but it's
no, mate, there's nothing. I'm more than happy if you want to.
Yeah, I know it's bloody minded, but it feels like is the there are the easiest answers are directly within reach. And I'm gonna ask the others. Has the pig told you what Morbius was doing? What he was doing with us?
Blah.
They fill you in.
Yeah. Well, I think I just saw. I think we just saw.
I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not get into the semantics here. All right. This game never ends. But Morbius is in that warehouse, and I primed I check the power pack on the blaster, and I go, I'm gonna find out what the fuck's going on. And I make my way over to the warehouse, and I'm gonna try and infiltrate it through whatever way a special ops nutter would do, in a security pod.
Okay. I'm happy for that to go to a roll. You can describe how it is, and I think before I tell you then what, depending on the outcome of the roll, we'll flip back to the others, and we can do a bit with Habeas.
Yeah. I would think. I don't think it would make sense to go through the same door that they just went through. So I'd probably look around for another entrance, maybe like a window or something like that.
Fire door?
A fire door, yeah.
It's a warehouse. It is governed under health and safety regulations.
Yeah, and I think Rook's priority here is to get eyes on that combat synth first. If that synth is in here, he thinks he can take Morbius no matter what, right? But he's not breaking and shooting. He's looking to get eyes on the thing that slipped out of view for now. So you can get a drop on it, hopefully. So I think that'd be infiltrate, right?
Yeah.
Infiltrate of 5. Can't fail. Got 8.
That's pretty good. Reduce your skill by 1.
I'm happy to away as I slip in through the fire door.
You sort of jimmy in this open a fire door. It's a standard sort of push bar lock. You don't think there's any spying on you. It doesn't seem connected. The place looks abandoned. Inside, it's like it's a classically empty warehouse, some smashed up racking. A few of them collapsed. Some old pallets with not really anything on it. But in the middle of the room, there is a massive sort of steel pit with a big steel cover on it. Maybe a vehicle bay or something. It's bigger than an inspection pit, that's for sure. As if there's a sub level under this metal sort of cover. It's a metal cover. It looks as if it's on sort of rollers, split in the middle, reasonably classic. It's rusty, as most things on Mars seem to be. Painted red. Those big steel rollers it's on, you don't know how, when the last time that moved, what kind of noise that would make if you did move it. That's all that's sort of visible to you. Fire away and ask me some questions, and I'll either tell you stuff for free or do it.
I've entered this warehouse, this hole. The two beings that I saw enter the warehouse appear not to be here. The obvious conclusion would be they've gone down the hole, right? Is there a good spot where I can? Is there a sub level? I don't suppose there'd be anywhere I could know whether or not there were tunnels, or is this like another escape route, or is this where they've ended up? Is this where they are basically versus where they're going through?
I think this is a good time for a perceive to what's going on in that pit. Really, I think
I do have augmented hearing and sight. So
give yourself a bonus dice to the roll.
Okay, 7. No, wait, I lost something in perceive. I think no, I didn't lose that. Only a 6.
I think this is reasonably classic. I will give you quite a bit. So you managed to find a hole, not a hole. It's slightly ajar. This metal cover. Looking inside, you are limited in what you can see through the angle of vision. You can see a man chained in a chair, sort of thing. We're not talking body chains here. He's sort of manacled at the foot, and he's got various things coming out of his brain, various cables, etc., probes attached to him. You can see a massive server bank not too far from him, and you can see 5 cortical stacks sort of plugged into that, and there's space for a few more. Something seems to be going on there, and you can see Morbius sort of looking over the body and sort of on doing some various computer work. He seems to be limping, but he's definitely sort of, looking at the body, typing away on a computer. Yeah. And as you do that, it sort of squeaks a bit. You sort of lean on this, and Morbius looks up at you with quite steely eyes staring at you. Back to Fisher and Hex. You are muted, Hex.
I said something profound, but I won't repeat
Very
it.
profound.
I would like to compare the information I have about Dr. Klatu
Yep.
With habeas corpus.
Yep.
So I do have mnemonics, so I can. We saw somebody entering the compound, right?
Yep.
Like just somebody in a trench coat or something.
Yep.
And I'm asking the hyperpic, is this Dr. Klatu?
Yes. He arrived literally just before I was attacked. I showed him up to the good doctor upstairs.
Well,
He's a friend of Mobius from the outer system.
Is he though?
I believe so. Yes.
Uh,
He's been here many times.
You need to be strong, my dear friend. Let's go upstairs.
Why? What are you going to do to me?
I would like to confirm the identity of 2 bodies that I have found.
Very well. Lead on.
As I said, you have to be strong. Steel yourself.
Fisher, do you want to do anything at this point?
I think that I will say X. Do you want to continue on with getting the info out of the pig and shocking them, or, and I hate to say this, do we want to go back to your original suggestion and maybe jump in the car to back up Rook?
Like, how did the Dr. Klatu enter and then this killer bot appear? What is the connection?
I think, based on the information we're getting, is whatever this thing is, it's wearing skins.
So it was underneath the
I think it was wearing Dr. Klatu.
He is still a friend. We need to follow Rook.
I'm with you that 100%.
No, he's wearing the skin of Dr. Thing. What is this called? Morbius. Morbius is maybe dead.
Grab your jackhammer and let's get in the car.
Nix, contact Rook. Get into the car.
And I think we'll flick back to Rook. So Morbius spots you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just at that moment, a large sword sort of comes out of his hand. You, in quite a sort of a bellowy, sort of very, very loud, amplified voice, as it points this broken katana
Yeah.
at you.
And I think for a second, I go, what the fuck? And I think I raise my gun and I shoot it because I think my brain connects that this is definitely the robot that just attacked me and murdered some people. So let's shoot it. You can always find out what it wanted after it's dead. So am I within range of my
Of course you are. It wouldn't be a ranged weapon if you weren't within range.
So that is 8 on my die. It's a 9.
That's a good sound hit. Not the best hit you could have. So this is attacking something that's slightly better than you. Success. So deduct 1 from your pool. You can either do damage equal to your weapons rating minus their armor. You can hold them at bay or force them to change position. I don't think drawing attention to yourself because there ain't anybody else. And then I pick one. Yeah.
I guess the only one that really makes sense to do is to either do damage to them, or if hold them at bay, it could be like a running gun battle with Morbius, the android, and stall for time. Like having a like John Woo style fight inside of this warehouse, rather than it be like one action.
Well, I mean, it is quite a small opening, so you could easily force them sort of away if you want to gain a bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I could just buy time for the others to arrive, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I get to pick something from my list. It pulls a laser pistol and fires it at you. Take 2 damage minus any armor you have.
Cool. Does it pull a laser pistol, or does it raise like one hand and it fires out of the?
Let's have it out of its other. Yeah, maybe not Iron Man style, but yeah, the skin sloths away from his other hand. Yeah, this pistol sort of automatically comes out, gets in its hand, and it starts blasting you, and it lands some good hits. But I mean, you're quite smart. You weren't really aiming to do damage. You want to force it out of its sort of field of attack. So it drives behind this sort of server rack, and it's now not really got a bead on you. But while it hit you okay, because I presume you've got a little bit of armor.
Yeah. The thing next to me exploded.
Yeah.
So thin skin and a bit of the pod like lines details. And yeah, I ducked behind some piping, and I'm happy to keep on doing that until this vehicle arrives at speed, hopefully.
Yeah, we've got to play with time a little bit here. So back to Hex and Fisher. What do you want to do, both you two?
Jump into the vehicle.
Yeah. Hightail it over to.
Yeah. Shout to Habeas to lock the building down until we get back, and we'll be back.
I hope so. Bring back Mobius.
We'll bring back some of Mobius, yes.
And you two speed off. I think this is we need a drive to see how long Rook's got to hold out until you can get there.
Fair enough.
You're not gonna dive into the Nova Crab.
Well, I can't drive the ground vehicle in the Nova Crab, I guess.
No. I can't see why you couldn't control it. The vehicle could easily be controlled remotely.
That is true.
But it will take you some time to get into the Nova Crab.
Now,
let's get moving.
Let's get moving. I have the piston spike. It will be good. It will be okay.
It will be good. Okay. So let's see how good that drive is. Because this is full pedal at the metal. Oh!
That's 10.
He's got a 10. You have paid for the top-rated GPS navigation system go. And this reroutes you past various public sector places, a lot of footfall, pedestrians. You hightail it to there pretty quickly. We will bend time slightly here, so we've got a lot of pew pew going on. Rook, I think you need to make on such a good drive roll. I'm just going to make one more. I think you need to engage something very nasty again, as eventually it comes out from behind this server rack. And it all lines up quite nicely.
Yeah. What do I have most points in at the moment? I think I now have more points, same points in guns and melee. I'll attack it with melee, I think.
You're gonna dive down there. That's the disadvantage with melee.
Oh, okay. Because it's still below me then. Okay. I'll
it's still down in this pit. It's not come out.
In my head, I sort of imagined it Matrix leap out of the pit.
No, it's still down in this pit. It's going to use its laser pistol on you. And you got this guy manacled down there.
True. I wouldn't want to shoot him, maybe. But anyway, I will roll my dice, which is now 6 plus 1 for the thing. Do I get an extra dice for having the high ground?
I will give you an extra dice for having the high ground.
Yeah, we know how effective having the high ground is.
Yeah,
high ground's always good.
I've rolled d6s though.
Well, you haven't got an 8, 9, or a 10 there.
No, who would have thought? Yeah. D10, there we go. That's a 9.
Okay. What do you want to achieve?
I want to disable its weapon. That'd be my major thing. I want to stop it from shooting back at me.
Ooh, that's pretty big. That would be more a great success you need for that.
Sure.
So you can either
hit it.
Keep them hit it.
Yeah.
Okay. You get a reasonably square on, and a bit more of the good doctor sloughs off onto the floor. It's now starting to break up really what the doctor is, should we say. It's looking more and more like what you fought earlier. As the doctor sort of sloughs off it grows. Various armor plates sort of link. It gets slightly bigger.
Form into okay.
It's not huge, but definitely it's adapted to go into that body. You definitely know this thing can adapt, sort of thing. You damage it, and it gets you back again. 2 points of damage. Minus your armor.
Yes, that's only one.
Only 1 point of damage. Now this has been this
fight kind of been like between two Terminators almost, because they're not like physical bodies, right? It's like watching and then just like shrugging it off.
I mean, you can take a good hit, and this thing could definitely take a good hit. Sort of thing. It's armored to some degree. Especially now it's out of the doctor. Sort of thing. So this is ongoing. This fight, it's taken a bit of time, and you did have it pinned quite somewhere. How does Hex and Fisher want to enter?
I have only one thing I want to do. Most important thing when Hex brings us through a wall or whatever, I want to shout Rook's name and I want to throw the rifle through the air slow motion to him.
Sounds awesome. I think we'll just do this on one drive roll. I'm not going to have an athletics roll to throw it to him. Let's just see how much of this vehicle's left as you go through. I don't want to say wall. You go through a door.
Yeah, I crashed through the door exactly. That is a 9.
Yes. Pretty good. You go through. You think you've damaged the transaxle. This thing screeches and spins as you get in, and it just nudges against this this covering, which is open quite a bit now. and you see Hex firing down. There's laser beams coming up, sort of thing. And then suddenly this kinetic weapon is flying in your direction, Rook.
Yeah. I'm imagining there's like on the heads up display there's like a little arrow and a flashing right like it's like
You need to catch. You need to catch.
and just to I think without looking, like snatch it out of the air, and that obviously that's what I'll be using for my next shot. But I'd love to know how does the car crash or anything like into the side of the wall or?
Well, it crashes into this cover.
Yeah.
The transaxle's broken up. Basically, I think that one of the front wheels sort of goes through this quite rusted cover, sort of thing. So that's sort of hanging limp, and some of this debris falls down onto the inside, and not wanting to escalate it a bit more. Mobius shouts up, "No, you fools! I was trying to save him. It's all gone wrong." And at that stage, I will show you an image of what happens. The guy in the chair starts to change badly. Have I got the... He quickly expands massively. This is a thing called a fractal troll. There's just about a little bit of a face left of him. Basically, he carries on splitting. Numerous legs. His arms are made of numerous sort of... there's a horrible scream coming out of this guy. The face you recognize... I'm going to stop sharing. The face you recognize just about as Bolgo. Just about. There's not much left. It's gone a bit thingy, and I think at this stage we're going to require. And this thing's getting bigger and bigger, and eventually the top of this sort of pit, it just pushes it aside. Let's all have a sand check at -2.
Oh my.
We'll start with Hex. Why not?
Sanity is still 8. Clear room 8. Submit.
You are Mr. Level-headed.
9.
9's good. 9 is very good. So again, this is up to you. What do you want to do with the sanity check? You can either reduce your SAM by 1. You can add to a stress track, or you could pick an acute stress, either fight, flight, or detachment.
I will reduce 1 sanity.
Okay. Rocks you a bit. Fractal troll, clearly a Titan leftover. Let's come to you next, Fisher.
So 6 -2 is 40-10. But I've got a 10.
Fractal trolls. I mean, trolls are so D&D.
Once again, I say, put that jackhammer in its head.
Now, this is really good because your steadfast action, you can add a D10 to somebody else's sand check.
And I say that to Hex.
Put a jackhammer in its head. Go ahead, make that sand check, Rook.
Okay, so how many do I have?
You tell me.
4 sanity. 4.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But you do get a bonus dice.
You get a bonus dice, so 5.
Because Fisher's unfazed and he's shouting good phrases of encouragement.
So 9.
9, excellent. So you can either reduce your sanity by 1, uptick one of the stress tracks, or you can pick a current disorder. But you can only pick flight or detachment.
Okay, choose either of those.
I don't think either of those two are quite good at this situation, unless you want to leave your colleagues in the lurch and do a run.
Only freeze up at the worst moment.
Oh, it sounds like my Delta Green character, doesn't it?
But I suppose, I mean, I did fight in the fall. So That could be bad, but I think I will add a stress unknown.
Okay. Yeah, this fully falls under the unknown. Yeah, this thing is weird,
Yeah,
to say the least.
yeah. Fractal troll, virus. You know.
So armament-wise, what have we got spread about?
I've got an assault.
We've got Mr. Armament himself with another weapon now.
No, I have all.
I have all the weapons.
Yes.
You will have recovered your. Well, you've got the jackhammer, haven't you?
I have
You
the
will have
pistol.
recovered your wrench. You will have your wrench as well.
Okay. I'm not sure if I want to attack this thing with a wrench.
Fair one.
I do have the piston spike though. What
You
does
do.
Fisher have?
He's got a glass bird.
Yeah, I think Fisher is rifle to me before the fractal troll emerged.
Well, just a second. Do we know the role of this creature that was inside of the doctor? No. He
We would
wants to stop this, I think.
no, we would know that, like, so what we would, I don't know, what my character would know, and what yours would at least know by reputation, right, is that these are the sort of creatures that the Titans deployed during the fall. Like, this is one of the reasons why, like, mankind's like on the brink of
They will have started as people.
yeah. This is one of the terrors of the Titans, this is bad news.
It's definitely bad news. Let's kill it.
I like the way you think.
So Hex is jumping out of the car with a spike hammer and trying to spike. I don't know. Can
Well,
you
you
climb?
got two adversaries that you could pick between. You can either you sort of really gonna have to leap down in the pit, and that's fine. There's either the used to be Morbius, now a combat synth. Maybe
Seems
started
to
as a
be the
combat synth.
lesser of the problem, I think.
True, but it's nastily armed, and it doesn't seem to have a problem shooting at you previously. Or there's this BFG.
Attack the BFG.
BFG.
Absolutely. I have an idea for how I want to.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Rook, just an indication.
I'm gonna unload the assault rifle on the troll.
Okay. Is your thing going to take sort of a bit longer than a little bit of combat, Fisher? Do you want me to do those
basically while they're doing that, I want to grab, lean forward, and I want to upset the balance on this car, and I want to land this car down in the pit on top of this motherfucker.
I like it. I like it. Okay.
Regardless of my body at this point.
Okay. If only you could drive.
I don't have to drive. I just have to lean.
I know what you want to do. I'm not going to be. I'm not that kind of guy. So yeah, let's do. Let's start with range. Range is probably always going to be a little bit quicker than a bit of melee, but I do want to see this piston spike in action. So Rook with the assault rifle.
Do you get any benefit from having it on auto? Like,
yes, you do. You can instantly gain engage something very nasty. +1 if it's an automatic weapon, +1 if you've got an advantageous position, and +1 if the equipment is it an area effect weapon?
It's got auto on it.
Just auto. Okay, so an extra D10 for automatic. Yeah, and I think you're out of the pit, so I'm going to give you an extra D10 for advantageous position.
Cool. I will roll 8 then, and I got 2 10s. So
awesomeness abounds. Just a time you want to get a 10. This is a good time to get it. You inflict damage equal to your weapons rating, and I think that's a weapons rating 2. and you get to pick
One of those benefits.
one of those benefits.
Keep them at bay, change their position, damages some armor, do extra damage, disable a critical system. I will. I think it's like if it's got like expose some part of it, you know, like blow away part of its like outer layer of like hideous.
Could you maybe change the position, like shoot a knee that it drops down, that I can actually move my.
If I can set it up, if I can pass the bonus on to Hex.
100%. So yeah, you know, let's go with what was said there. I'm not going to alter what was said. That sounds really cool. You know, you hammer it in its knee, and it has to, you know, drop to a knee. You know, and it lets out this horrendous sort of scream. Not male, not female. It's just not even animal. It's weird. You know, freakish. But it drops to its knee, clearly howling in some kind of pain. Hex. You've jumped down at this pit. You've got this katana wielding sort of synth, but right in front of you now, just drop to its knee, is this fractal troll.
Apply the piston to the head. And it is how much? 5, I think, melee.
Yeah, but you get an extra D for an advantageous position.
So it is 6. Clear 6. Submit. Come on, it's an 8. It is an 8.
8's pretty good.
Pretty good.
So deduct 1 from your skill. That's
Good.
your only thing. And you can pick one of the following. You can do damage equal to your weapon's range, which I believe is 2.
Yeah,
Is it not?
it is.
Or you can pick one of the others.
Let's do damage. We have to kill it at some stage.
Okay. It looks pretty wounded, actually. That's 2 solid hits. But it swipes at you with one of these. I want to say hand, but there's many hands because they keep branching out from the original hand. And you take 2 damage minus your armor. And it sort of bats you. Yeah.
Oh no, I cheated. I only had 3 dice.
Don't worry about it. You're an honest guy.
I know. I removed the third one. Now I have 2.
It was an honest mistake.
It was.
Fisher.
Yeah, I want to just try and like
drop something on this.
Drop this
you
car.
Tell me what skill you want to use, and I'll tell you whether that's a good skill or
I think this is probably athletics.
Yeah, you basically just want to tip this thing over
on
it. And Rook has sort of pinned it, so I'm going to give you an extra D10 because it's in an advantageous position. It's dropped to its knees, so you've now clearly got a bit of a height advantage on it.
Two 10s, a 9, and 2 8s.
Jesus.
You send that home. You ain't going to get no better than that. Yeah, this vehicle, you basically, you are on the back bumper and you tip it and it falls on this, you know, front of the vehicle first. You know, yeah, you're not a mathematician, but whatever angle you've got on this,
remotely hit the horn as it's going down too.
And it sort of hits it in the neck and it sort of crushes it down on the ground lower than what Rook got it. And the rest of the body, the rest of the vehicle then sort of like oof, on this thing's head. And there's the most evilest of ichor gunk has sort of spilled out from this. And at that stage, the synth sort of drops to its knees. No! What have you done? What have you done? I was trying to save him. You've killed him. And it sort of drops to its knees and starts weeping in a weird way that only a synth can weep. And at 12 minutes to, I think that concludes it brilliantly, folks. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed myself. Every session, but this one especially true.
That's fun.
If you have a quick fly through sort of stars and wishes, that sort of thing, then you know, we can stop recording and have a little bit more of a chat about things. And yeah, I'll give you a little bit of an insight on the scenario and we'll go from there. So I always love starting with horses. Everyone says such good stuff. Everyone says good stuff, so I don't want to put everybody else down. You go ahead, horse.
I especially enjoyed the body swapping. That was the
Yeah.
highlight of the session, I think. And that is a strength of like science fiction systems, is that you can be really creative with using the technology.
It was nearly re-sleeving without re-sleeving.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was the wish. My wish, I think, from last time was re-sleeving. You gave me the Neo crap, and I just ignored it. I'm sorry.
You didn't ignore it. We were a bit time pressed. It wasn't
Yes.
anybody's. It was my fault. Sorry.
And the other wish would be to go on exploring this world with the system.
I will try to. I will try to. Thank you very much. Lowell.
Yeah, I dug it. Like we did see some more of the sort of Eclipse phase setting, some elements of that. We tried a different skills there. You know, mechanics aside, which we'll talk about in a bit, but I dug it. Like I dug what I got to do. I enjoyed the setup. It was a good moving us in different positions and places and then bringing us together. So very solid.
Thank you very much. Will, my friend.
Yeah, I loved having a chase through a Martian city. I loved it. I'm glad that we could do the body swap. I liked fighting the Titans, the Exsurgent virus, the Lovecraftian horror that's at the heart of why Eclipse Phase is where it is, as opposed to just shiny, glittering golden age of humanity. And yeah, I enjoy. It was good. My wish would be to find, for our characters to find out what the hell happened, and probably for, if we're the beta forks of some people who are really running around, right? Like, for us to be maybe like illegally forked and protected by firewall, and become firewall deniable assets or something like. But we will see. Of course,
We will see.
We will see.
Definitely. I mean, I had a whale of a time. I really enjoyed it. Time's always against us. Open Hearth.
Chasing the robot constantly throughout it. I know that also put a pressure on terms of like keeping the two different.
Yeah. Clearly, I had to play a bit with time there at the end, driving across town.
So, Rook's just been running through street after a couple of montage of shots running through streets, right? And then that's like however long it took for everything else to happen, basically.
Yeah, too right. Very well. If you are viewing this, thank you very much. We're going to leave it here, and hopefully we will maybe one day return to Eclipse Phase. And all these people will get an invite, before anybody else is a given. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. I'm not going to end it for